Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone 13 Pro just came out, so let's go and take a look at it against the iPhone 12 and see which one you should go and pick up. Now I will be honest, if you have all the money in the world, getting the iPhone 13 Pro is probably the better way to go, but the iPhone 12 is still a very good phone too, and it has a lot of capability. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these devices, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see that they look almost the same, and if I kind of move them around like this, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell which one is which. Now, in the hand, the 13 Pro definitely feels much heavier, so keep that in mind. The 12 is a much lighter phone, the 13 Pro is a much heavier phone, and it's a little bit thicker as well. But the panels up front are the same size, the notch is a little bit smaller in the 13 Pro, but you do have that Pro Motion panel with 120 Hz, refresh rate, which is a massive difference. It's cool, you get used to it pretty fast, but when you compare these two side by side, it's definitely a much smoother experience on the iPhone 13 Pro, and that may be that big of enough reason for you to go and upgrade, to be honest. Now, in terms of thinness and thickness between the two, the iPhone 12 is a little bit thinner, but you don't really tell. The cases will not fit on either one, so keep that in mind. So a 12 case will not fit on a 12 Pro, but they feel kind of the same. And on the back, you can see glass backs on both, and both feel pretty good. You do have that frosted glass back on the iPhone 13 Pro, which feels and looks much better. This is a really good type of design on the 13 Pro. The 12 still feels great, but it almost feels like I can break the 12 in half with my fingers, where the 13 Pro feels extremely premium. Triple camera setup on the iPhone 13 Pro with the LiDAR sensor. The 12 has a dual camera setup, and that really pretty much covers it up on the outside. You have IP certification and everything on both, but definitely the 13 Pro feels much more premium without a doubt. Now, one other big thing to keep in mind is the longevity. The iPhone 12 came out last year, so it may not last as long as something like an iPhone 13 Pro, but I will be honest, the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 12 are probably going to end off around the same time. I don't think they're going to be lasting like 3 years difference from each other because they're only 1 year apart. So keep that in mind if you have an iPhone 12 series or 13 series device. They're going to be ending off around the same time. Maybe not the same year, but around the same time. So that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. Now the iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 13 Pro has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is a faster iPhone between both of these. There we go. Let's go and clear out all the apps in the background, and you can see they are all cleared out. Now it's going to get into phone calls. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. iPhone 12 is here. iPhone 13 Pro is here. Music 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing, except this one had to get into that little bit of a pop-up. No big deal. Hopping out of this one, let's get into their app stores. 3, 2, 1. And of course, we have a network issue on the iPhone 13 Pro, so we can't even do this one. Camera 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. Photos 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro, I think, was a faster one there by a little bit. Hopping out of this one, let's get into news 3, 2, 1. Now this one does have a network issue, so we'll just go and hop out of this one on both. Clock 3, 2, 1. About the same on both. Mail 3, 2, 1. I think the 13 Pro again was a faster one. Music 3, 2, 1. Did I already do this one? Yep. Settings 3, 2, 1. And about the same on both. So even from these basic apps that we just did, not a big difference. And scrolling through all these, you can see pretty much the same thing, but it does seem like it's much faster on the iPhone 13 Pro. Now, as always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go ahead and open. So let's get into Twitter. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 Pro is a faster one. Let's get into Netflix. 3, 2, 1. Network issues on both, so not a big issue. This one didn't have a network issue. Hopping out of this one, let's get into Quizlet, which I don't even have here, which is very, very weird. Let's get into Thank You. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 Pro was the faster one by a little bit. Gameplay-wise, let's see if there's a difference, and I don't think there is going to be. So let's hop out of this one. Let's get into Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 Pro again was the faster one. Gameplay-wise, again, I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference, so let's hop out of this one. Let's get into Temple Run, the original one. 3, 2, 1. And pretty much the same thing on both. I mean, pop-ups on both, very annoying things on both. So let's go into Jump into Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And there is a network connection problem on both, so I don't know if either one of them are going to open, to be honest. So we'll just go and hop out of this one. Let's get into Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 Pro was quite a bit ahead of the iPhone 12. I don't know why we have to download the same thing on both of them every single time. So I don't know if this would be the difference every single time, so keep that in mind. But there's a slight difference between both, and you can see eventually we do get into it on the iPhone 12. Hopping out of this one, let's get into the next one, which I guess is Snapchat 321. Again, the iPhone 13 Pro is a faster one. So Snake Stack 321. And I think the iPhone 13 Pro was the faster one here as well. Gameplay wise, I don't know what happened on the iPhone 12, why it glitched up like that. That's very, very strange. Hopping out of this one, that really pretty much covers up all the applications that I wanted to test. And to be honest, both of them did a pretty good job. The iPhone 12 had a couple of instances where it was a much slower experience, which I don't know why that happened. But as you can see, both of them are doing a pretty good job at RAM management as well. And I think when it comes down to it, the iPhone 13 Pro is the faster one, but it's not that big of a difference. You guys could have seen it from yourself. There's very slight differences between both. You know, they both did a good job, but I don't think I would go from the iPhone 12 to the 13 Pro just based off the performance, specifically with app opening. I think they both did a great job otherwise, but I think the 12 is still a very good performing phone without a doubt. So that covers it up there. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now with the iPhone 13 Pro, you're getting a triple camera setup, a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lens. The iPhone 12, you're getting a wide and an ultra-wide sensor. Now you're getting 4K 60 on the back and the front of both of these. So both these cameras can film in the exact same resolutions. So keep that in mind. If you wanted to go and increase your resolutions or something, that's not really going to be the case here. Both these phones film the same exact front and the back. However, that doesn't mean they're both the same type of phone or the same type of cameras. You know, the iPhone 13 Pro's camera is much better. You have that ultra-wide sensor on both, which is tremendous, so you can zoom out a lot into a photo, just like so. But you can also zoom in a lot on the iPhone 13 Pro. The iPhone 12 can only zoom out a lot, which is still great, but I like having that telephoto lens too if I need it. Now, there's another big difference with cinematic mode. So if we look at the bottom, they both have the same portrait mode, panoramic mode, all this good stuff. But the iPhone 13 Pro, all the way over here, does have that new cinematic mode, which is a really cool feature. It's essentially portrait mode for videos, which is cool. I like having that type of capability. Is it a big difference? It's totally up to you. You may be able to get the same effect if you edit your videos up a little bit, but without even editing, it just comes stock, which is really awesome. Now with the iPhone 12's camera, this is still going to be great no matter what. I've had really good success with this specific lens. You know, you have the capability of zooming out a lot, which is cool. The capability of zooming in a lot, which is really cool as well. And like I mentioned, I think this is a great phone. I think this is a great camera. I filmed a lot of videos on this thing, and it's done a tremendous job. Is it perfect? Probably not, as most of you may know, but it's still a really good lens, and I've had very few complaints about it. But with the 13 Pro, this is definitely a far better camera. This is a really bad lighting condition, at least for the phone itself. But this is a very good camera lens. This is one of the top tier cameras of this year. And without a doubt, I would recommend you guys to go buy the 13 Pro camera over the 12 camera. But for a majority of users out there, including me, I don't really use my phone camera that much. Even if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I still wouldn't use this camera a lot. You know, I just make like Snapchat videos here and there and like TikToks and stuff every once in a while. Other than that, you're going to have a really good time with the iPhone 12 camera still. Would I rather have the 13 Pro camera over the 12? Yes, absolutely. But the 12's camera is still very close to this one as well. So now to answer the question, should you go and buy an iPhone 12 or should you go and buy an iPhone 13 Pro? This is what I'll tell you. You know, I think the iPhone 13 Pro is definitely the far better phone. You're getting a much better build quality, a much better battery life, better cameras for sure, better performance, better display, better ProMotion, which is amazing, and overall a way better phone. It's faster. I mean, it's everything you want in an iPhone. But there are so many similarities between these two phones. The speed, honestly, it really wasn't that big of a difference. You know, I think I kind of have to overhype it a little bit, but it really wasn't that big of a difference at all. On top of that, this was a tremendous performing phone when it first came out, and it still is. The build quality, it kind of feels the same, although the 13 Pro feels better. The cameras are great. You can film in the same video resolutions on both, which is tremendous. And the battery life is still pretty good on the 12. It's not tremendous or anything, but it gets the job done. And I don't really think it's a con by any means. But definitely the 13 Pro is a better one. But the 12 is probably the better one. But the 12 may be a better value per dollar. But the 13 Pro was a pretty good upgrade coming from the iPhone 12. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.